I'll start working through the question as well. So if you need to check something, just check through my answer. But otherwise, see if you can do everything by yourself.
Can I please have a pencil, Charlie?
You can use mine.
I hate that pencil noise.
Mine?
Yes.
You done?
Charlie's pencil noise.
It's the noise a pencil makes when you write with it.
It's so
Is it
annoying.
because you don't know what hard work sounds like when it comes to
It's so annoying.
when you write what the position is, do you just write like -1 and that's it? Or is it like centimeters?
Centimeters.
I quite like it. It's nice.
It's so distracting and annoying.
Well, get over it. How do you write? Is it just average velocity, just centimeters per second? You don't have to write anything funky.
No.
Because does it start at?
When it's...
Because if the initial position is 8, well, if at 0 seconds it's 8, does that mean the origin is 8?
It starts at 8, but the origin is the origin. So when you say the origin is the origin.
Like the middle.
Like the middle, 0, yeah.
So then...
Position, yeah, it will be 0. So because when you're talking about position, it's position away from the origin.
That's 8, and then... So then if the position is 0, does that mean it's at the origin?
Yeah, it's at the origin, yes.
And then I have to find... And then I use the derivative of x and substitute in 0 equals...
Which is part B.
Pardon?
Which was part
this
B.
is for D.
Yes, and D uses the result from B and C.
But don't I have to, if there's a turning point?
Yeah, B was the turning point.
What was B? B3.
Yeah, look, what's question B asking you? When the velocity equals 0, what position at this time?
So if 3 is the turning point, so then it's 4 plus 2, so 6 is the total distance traveled. No, it would be
The position at what's the position at the turning point?
The position at the turning point.
Mm-hmm. It's not 3.
-1.
Yes, that is the position at the turning point. You should draw the Java graph.
I am, but
Are
it
you?
looks really confusing. Why does it
Okay.
not make sense when I draw it?
Okay, well, so start
Can
point.
you draw it for me? I don't like drawing them. They really confuse me.
Start point is 8, end point is 0, and
But
turning
you
at
start
negative
at
1.
-1.
But where do
No,
I...
no, you start at
At 8.
8.
That's what's confusing me, I think. Wait, can you draw it, Koi? Or at least talk me
Why
through
are
drawing
we
it?
starting?
So you start with the number line, and then you put the 3 points in, which is 0, 8, and -1. All right. So 8 is like here, and -1 is like here.
So 8. And
Right.
0,
But why are we?
and
Where do we start at?
Because at 0 seconds, it's 8.
Yeah.
So then
When you sub 0
you
into
go
t, x is 8.
backwards, so you go...
Yeah.
So it's... Yeah, so it's 10 centimeters.
It's 10, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's 10 over 4, Koi? You know, like, thingies.
Yeah, you can calculate that one.
It's like 2 point something.
2 point something. 2.1.
2.5?
2.5.
Oh.
Okay, if you're done with that, question 2. And I think starting from question 3, oh no, question 3 is complex familiar, but 4 is back to simple.
Its initial position. Wait.
For question A, is it asking for its initial position and its initial velocity?
Yep.
Okay.
-3. And then...
So notice that this question, they haven't even touched on the trigonometry stuff yet. Question 3 is when it starts unit 3 content. Yeah, after that I'll let you guys do the ones that are more unit 3 related. Because question 1 and 2 is just revision.
B. Its velocity at time t. That's just the derivative.
Do you guys know how to interpret a negative value for acceleration? What does that mean?
Its velocity is decreasing.
Correct, it is slowing down.
I can't divide those by 3.
Wait, when does it ask for acceleration?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, it was I think
48.
later.
Wait, 24 times 3. That's
72.
8. Oh. No way. So what times what equals 72? What plus what equals 22?
Its velocity at time t.
It's just the derivative.
Well, why would they ask it so stupidly if I just found...
Yeah, it's weird, right? This is not a very good question. Question B is not a very, very good one.
See. What times what equals 72?
So let me check if this question is a tech-free. Unfortunately, it is tech-free. But you know what? I'll make it tech active. Just use your calculator.
At what times is the particle station?
Yeah, use your calculator, guys. Don't go tech free in this one. It's not
Actually, I
worth
have my
not worth the effort.
Neither.
Like,
Yeah, you can share these.
No, wait,
I
you
won't
can
use the
do
calculator.
this.
You can do it without a calculator. It just takes longer.
I'm doing it now.
Okay.
I'm gangster.
That's cool.
It's. Did you try? You tried 3 and 24.
Well, obviously it doesn't work.
Yeah, well, I'm not.
Okay, I got it.
Okay, guys. I'll tell you guys a trick to do these ones without having to. If it's big numbers, you calculate the determinant. Do you know what it is?
If it's positive or negative.
Or zero. Or what number is the determinant?
Isn't it? It's the thing of the quadratic formula.
Correct. It is a
B
thing.
squared take 4ac.
Correct. So we calculate the determinant. Delta is b squared minus 4ac. Okay. And that would be negative 22 squared, which is just 22 squared. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Use the calculator. Times that,
Okay,
times that.
I'll use the calculator, Charlie.
Okay. So work that one out and see what the number is. If the determinant is a perfect square, then the answer will be nice.
No, you can use your own calculator. 3.
What have you done here?
Well, 72 divided by 4 is 18, and 18 plus 4. Oh no.
So you didn't.
Oh no, it's just negative 18 and negative 4.
Yeah, but so you didn't end solve it. You
No,
just.
why would I end solve it?
Guys, look at this. So if you use the determinant first, you can use the formula negative b plus minus square root determinant. So you see, if you calculate the determinant, you can calculate the square root of that. And if it's a whole number, then the answer will be a nice rational number. Otherwise, it will be irrational number. Okay, and then you can use that formula, put that in and get the answer a bit faster. So use a calculator for this one.
G. Minus. There. 4. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did I.
No, you didn't. 'Cause you're stupid.
Don't.
Sorry, who got actually like 92 for their exam?
Who did no revision for the exam?
That's not a flex.
Yeah, but still did well.
That is not a flex.
All things
That's
considered.
called being lazy.
Who got a 95 on their assignment?
That's called
Who got a 95 on their assignment and did it the day of?
That's not a flex either. That's just called being like unorganized.
No, that just means I can do it well if I actually put in the time.
Yeah, so oh my god, you're so annoying when you act like it's cool to be like
I don't
lazy.
act like it's cool, but you go, oh my god, I got this, I got this. Why can't I have the limit to say I got this?
Because you, what, when you get one thing?
No.
But it's like, you need to put in consistent effort. Like, you can't just be
Yeah,
lazy
it's
your
unit
whole life.
3.
Yeah, but it's called Unit 3, and Unit 2 and Unit 1 were like practice, so for you to like get good at the skills first. That's why you put in like the time to practice the skills.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I know the skills.
It's like talking to a
And you have so much time to revise as well.
That's not the point.
Could you please end solve for 2D?
No,
No, you have to do it yourself, like.
Why?
because you're a big boy.
Oh, you have another calculator?
Yes. Do you know how to use that one though? Wait, why are you using ENSOL?
I don't know why.
I'm using like the dodgiest calculator to calculate these ones. You don't actually need the graphics calculator for this question. You just need a calculator to do basic like algebra stuff. Just to get it a little bit faster to the answer.
Oh, no, I'm done. I don't need it. End solve. Oh, what time is it?
How do you change a fraction on this thingy into like a decimal?
In the calculator,
Yeah.
you go to menu, number. So menu 1 and I think convert to decimal.
Lovely. How about it travels at 30 seconds?
Don't the signs not matter?
Hmm?
Don't the signs not matter because it's just the total distance?
Yeah, I'm writing I'm writing it in a way that's like I'm calculating the displacement from -3 to 319/27, which is 11 point something, 11.8. Alright, so you gotta take the 11.8 minus -3, which is +3.
I just did 319/27 times 2 plus 12.
Times 2 plus what? Nah,
Why? Because
it won't be +12. Because if you times that by 2, you're taking way more than the travel path already.
But doesn't it go 309 from whatever? Oh, yeah. So it'd be 3 plus 9 plus 319 over 27 take 319 over 27. Plus. Do you have a rubber, anyone?
I do have one.
Whoa. What's that?
What's what? That weird number there.
No, what is that for?
So this, how far it travels, so this is the left to right path, left to right.
Oh yeah, because it's stationary.
There's a stationary point. Watch out for that. So it has a weird number 4/3, but you got to realize that happens before 2 seconds.
Okay.
The travel graph for question F is the fun one. It turns
So
around
it's
twice. If you notice. Question F.
So it's 12 plus like 2 times 300.
The difference between this and this. So this is actually 319/27 minus 9. And 2 of those.
Why is it minus 9?
Because there's a difference, right?
Yeah, that's
this little
what
bit
I
is a
did,
difference.
and I was wrong.
I'm confused.
Right? If this is 9, this is 11, then the difference is 2. It's not just 11. You gotta take 11 minus 9. That little gap there, right?
Yeah, so then it would be whatever the difference is, and then you times that by 2.
Correct, yeah, and then you plus 12, yeah.
I don't want to do that right now.
Calculator. That's why I give you guys the calculator to do this one. You don't need to do
So
the...
much to like... 3...
27, 20, yeah, 400. 400. Yeah.
I didn't get that.
Right, did you punch this in?
Why is it minus -3?
So I did a different one. I did so you go from left to right.
When I subtract 9 from 319/27,
I got 448.
I get 76/27.
Uh-huh.
And then you times it by 2 since it's like going there and back.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just...
Plus 12.
Yeah. What did you get?
I did it in my head.
I got
so,
476/27.
Yeah, that should be the right answer. So you can draw the...
Isn't it 12 plus 9?
No, 12 plus 9 is
No.
wrong already.
No, 12 plus 319/27 take 9.
Yeah, but 2 of those. 2 of the 310. So, Blake, this is what I was talking about. Have a look. So you do you get it?
Yeah, I do get it.
Yeah. And then F, see if you can draw the travel graph for F. 7 seconds. Note that there will be 2 turning points. That's a hint.
Okay. So, turning point at 4/3 and 6. So
This calculator's way better.
6
In some areas, yes.
is 39.
I do agree with that stance, that statement. But when it comes to actually analyzing graph, your calculator, the TI Inspire, is better. The Texas one is
This
better.
is way better for calculation.
That's good for calculation, yes, but not for graphing. That one graphing is not as good.
Why are the buttons so hard?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's just poor build quality, I guess.
So we start at -3 on the line.
Mm-hmm.
Should we go? That's my turning graph.
Very good. That is correct. Now you gotta calculate the total distance. Be very careful with your algebra. You can use a calculator.
So we already know the total distance for the first two.
Shouldn't use the result from E. Should start anew. It will be easier.
31 to.
You need to break it into sections, Charlie.
Oh no.
But that's the safest way to do it. Break it into sections. Because you have to deal with that weird 319 over 27. So no choice. No choice.
+12 2 3.
Alright. Like Charlie, pause, have a look.
Wait,
I
no,
will-
no. I need one more 8. Wait, this might be the difference.
Why did you get that?
Yes, so okay, I'll teach you guys a new technique, okay? A new technique to calculate these ones.
Why are you doing 319 minus?
Wait. So the idea is this. The idea is that if you have 2 points, A and B, the difference is always B minus A. The right point minus the left point.
But then
right?
why did we still get it wrong? Like, because if I just did 12 and then plus 319 over 27, wouldn't I still get the same thing?
12 plus 319 over 27 is wrong because 12 is this section and then 319 over 27 is this section. There's an overlap. Right? So that's why I break down into sections. Say section 1 is always the right point, which is 319 over 27 minus 3, which is plus 3.
Right.
And then I do section 2 and then I do section 3. You always take the right point minus the left point. Basically, it's just that.
Okay, done.
Yes, you need to actually see if you can get that based on the graph. This is the
Yeah.
last thing.
1988 over 27. Good job.
Close.
Okay, all right. I think I'll move on for now. I can see the frustration in that one. Okay, are you close, Blake?
I don't know if I'm close.
That's what I'm saying. Learn this new technique, please. Come on. If you learn this new technique, this question will be easy. Take the right point and minus the left
We
point.
only just learned that technique.
Yep, and apply that now. Learn that technique. Right point minus the left point. You get the length of the segment, right? This is not even new. This is year 9 stuff, guys. We're talking about the difference between 2 points. The right point minus the left point. Right? And then you get the difference. And after that, you should repeat that 2 more times for the 2 more segments.
Closer than you.
No, I'm bored of this question.
But yeah, just remember when you are calculating this one, just take the right point minus the left point. Okay?
I will,
Just take the
like,
segment.
never need this ever in my life.
You need it for your exam, Charlie.
Yeah,
what
my
if it
exam,
happens?
but not
You
my
know?
life.
Charlie.
I don't want to be a particle mover.
It will be interesting. You become a particle mover. Anyway, question 3. Now this is the second example I showed you guys earlier, the really long one. Okay, so this is a complex familiar question. Work through it carefully. This is challenging though.
I'm squeaky.
So note that last time I explained question 3, I gave you guys like a lot of writing, right? But this time I will write exactly just what you need to get the marks
If
in
I
the exam.
have, do you just write 10 equals 30 plus 20?
What do you mean
For
10?
B.
For B? The time at which the particle is 10 meters, yes.
Okay.
And then you solve it.
Is it 10 and 50? Is max is 50?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wait, is this the calculator one? Non-calculator, this one. Tech free.
I don't like this 24 thing. I like 2 pi.
And you will get your 2 pi. Or multiples of 2 pi. Remember changing domain.
Pi on 6 t. And then 24 pi over 6. Equals 4 pi. So 2 cycles. And
42.
What is 2?
22. So when it is at a minimum, when sine is equal to -1. So,
And this is the part that you were struggling with before, finding the angle.
yeah.
Yeah. So it's the same idea. You find the point where sine equals -1, and you read the angle.
Yeah.
V equals
3 pi.
20 pi over 6. Can I simplify? 10 over 3. Cool. Is that right for my velocity? If I derive the x?
Yes, that's right.
Where'd the 30 go?
Which one?
In.
Yeah, so I brought that over, becomes -30, which is -20, and then they divide by 20. So just skip.
Ah,
a
yeah.
step.
If I have 10 pi times pi on 6, how?
10 pi times pi on 6.
Yeah.
What question is that?
Well, because then you also find the acceleration, because you find the velocity.
Oh,
and
it will be
find the
squared. Yeah,
acceleration.
yeah. It will
So
be
10 pi
something.
squared
Yeah. Well, you can
Over-
simplify that.
over 18.
Yeah, negative. Because cos
Yeah.
becomes negative sine.
So -10 pi squared over 18 sine pi on 60. That's really weird.
So,
Find the maximum speed and when and where to go. So the maximum speed's 30, right?
Not 30.
Wait, because when we did it before, isn't it like what you...
It's the
Or is it-
amplitude,
So it's 50... No, it's 20.
not just 20. Wait, your maximum speed, right?
Yeah.
And this is your velocity equation, right? Which is
Yeah.
like 10 pi on 3, right? This is the maximum speed. Because the cos
Oh,
part
the velocity.
Yeah.
That's how you find it. So
Mhm.
then your maximum is 10 pi on...
on 3,
three.
yes. Because you look at the velocity equation, right?
So max speed... And
what?
when and where. So then you use the acceleration one to find when.
Find the maximum speed and when and where
Because
is
those are the tiny
close.
ones, right?
You can either use the acceleration or you can actually use the velocity equation.
How did we
as
do
well.
it before?
Because
Acceleration one.
before it was acceleration, but there's an easier way. Try this. So at the maximum speed, this section, that part must be either 1 or -1.
Ooh,
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you set that equals 1, so for t. Set that equals -1, so for t. It was the one where I split into two parts before.
It was
Yeah, remember this one here? The max value is this thing when the sine part is either -1 or 1.
no, it's question D. That was the magnitude one.
Yeah, it's the same. So
I
for
don't get what you're talking about. Like, how did we do it before with this question with the speed one? I don't want to do the acceleration. I want to do like the speed one. How you did it before?
you can do it in the same way as the acceleration one. So the idea is this. It's quite abstract, but the idea is this. This is the velocity equation, right? This equation gives you what the velocity is at a certain time, right? And then we know that this is going to be like a cost function, so it sort of looks like that. right?
Yeah.
And the maximum speed is either the top or the bottom points.
So it's 10 pi on 3.
Yes, yeah. But the velocity at this one will be either positive 10 pi on 3 or negative 10 pi on 3 for the velocity,
Yeah.
right? So you can actually just equate the velocity to these two values and then you solve for t.
So you just do 10 pi on 3 equals 10 pi on 3 cos
Yeah,
pi on 6.
yeah, that's right. And then you solve for t. And make sure you need the negative version as well. So you got to do them side by side.
Okay.
Where'd the 30 go? In the oh no, that gets to right.
Mm-hmm.
And wait, I'm confused on how you derived it. Because isn't it cos pi over 6t is 1 and then you multiply it. I don't know why you multiplied it by 20 pi over 6.
So 20 is
20 is a constant.
Yeah.
So 20 is a constant and then pi over 6 is the derivative of t.
correct.
And then it switches to cos
Yep.
pi over t6.
And it's just simplify. Okay, this first statement for question D is the most important one. If you get it, you'll be able to do D easily. Alright, Charlie, have a look. Have a look at question
Wait,
D.
I'm in this
In the zone?
Yeah.
Alright.
18.
So 10 pi over 3 is a constant.
So when it's positive 10 pi over 3, the times are 0, 12, 18, and 24.
Should be. You can check the answer at the back.
Yeah. But then it doesn't do it for the negative ones. Well, like, because I have 0, 12, 18, 24, but they have 6 in here. So is that just the negative one? But wouldn't there be a negative one each round? So wouldn't there be like a bunch more?
3 more, right?
Yeah, but I have all of them already. I have 0, 12, 18, and 24. I just don't have 6. But shouldn't there be like heaps more each?
This is 3D, right?
Yeah, because wouldn't there be, if I did do the negative ones, it would be 0, pi, 2 pi, 3 pi. Oh, actually, no, I added 3 pi in there as well. Because the ones for just the 0 value should be 0, 2 pi, 4 pi. So that should just be 3.
Yeah.
And then I just missed the pi.
Yeah, the other one is only 2, so 5. 5, not 6.
So it's just 6, yeah.
5, right? 5.
There's 5, yeah.
Yeah.
So 0, 6, 12, and
Hey, I just need to be reminded on
Yep.
the statement for D.
So so that's the velocity equation. So maximum speed is when the cross section is 1 or negative 1.
When did we learn that?
So that's the idea here where the maximum speed happens either at the bottom or the top. because when at the bottom the velocity is negative, but the speed is still 10 pi over 3, and the top, and obviously the speed is 10 pi over 3. And for the cost function, at the point where the top and the bottom, the cost value of that is the cost part is 0. It's negative 1 and 1.
You just drew the velocity graph there.
Sorry?
You just drew the velocity graph.
Yeah.
What you did.
Yeah. But you don't technically have to draw it, but you need to understand that for the cost function, the top and bottom point happens when the cost part is 1 or negative 1, which is basically that statement there. Like this whole thing here is something that you just have to, that thing there. You have to internalize that. Right? So maximum speed is also, it's the same as the maximum and the minimum velocity. Does it make sense?
Yeah, I'm too overwhelmed. I can't.
So note that maximum velocity is the top point, right?
Yeah.
Right? So at the top, this one would be max velocity. And this one would technically be minimum velocity. Right? But note that the speed at this one is still 10 pi over 3.
Yeah.
Because we don't care about the sign. And then the top one is also 10 pi over 3.
So it's like forgetting the amplitude and saying like that's -1.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Because the amplitude just turn it to 10 pi over 3.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that part is the hard part in this question to understand.
Forget the max speed is 10.
The maximum magnitude of, how do we do the max magnitude of the acceleration again?
Same idea as question D. You need
So-
to look at the acceleration equation
Yeah.
and deduce something from
So-
there.
You equate it to 5, so you do like 5 pi squared over 9 equals 5 pi squared over 9. And then you get -1 equals sine of pi squared over 2.
But then remember, it can also be equals to magnitude, right? Yeah, it equals to the negative of 5 pi squared over 9.
What do you mean the negative?
So okay, actually I'll get you back to question D. So if you understand the statement, it will be easier for question E. So if the velocity equation is this thing, right?
Yeah.
Then the maximum speed happens when the cost part of it is 1 or -1.
So it's just,
So for question E, the magnitude is maximum when the sine part, so this one here is either 1 or -1. You can go straight there.
so for the acceleration one, this is the amplitude for the acceleration part. And so then the max would either be if you had like the negative version of that or the positive version of that.
Correct.
So it's either -1 or 1.
Correct, yeah. So sine is either -1 or 1. Yeah. Yeah, this is why this is a very complex question.
So pi so it's equals. So that's sine. So that's pi. No, pi on 2. Or 3 pi, but it's for the domain. So I have 2 of them. And And then how do you find the position of it? You substitute it back into the original, and so then it's just your domain of that. The amplitude of that, like the range.
Some sort of, yeah.
So do I
Kind of.
substitute all of these back in, or just one of them?
So normally you need to substitute all of them, but then you see that it forms a pattern. So all the answers will be the same or similar. But normally you do substitute all of them in. But at some point you realize, hang on, it's just the same number.
Into the x one.
Yeah, yeah.
X equals.
Have you guys learned this symbol here? Absolute
Given
value.
that, isn't it?
This one?
No.
That's the magnitude of a number. Okay, never mind then. It will make it things a little bit shorter, but that's okay. You don't need to know that as of yet. It's a special listing.
For F. How do we do F?
Distance traveled by the particle during the 24 seconds of motion.
Isn't this another one that has 3 answers?
Yeah.
For question
For D.
D? Yes. Well, more than, yeah, it's one
Yeah,
of those.
but like it's got the...
So question F, you gotta draw the travel graph. And then
How do you draw a travel graph for a sine one?
for sine 1, it will be, it just goes left to right like that. Right, so it will go like...
So if it's 20. Oh, God.
This is why question 3 is arguably the hardest one. Okay, well, I think you guys kind of get the idea. Okay, so maybe we'll skip on to the next one first.
160 meters.
Hmm?
How do you find the total distance traveled though for a sine?
Okay, just to save you guys some time, have a look. Just watch my explanation for E and F. You don't actually need to do it. Okay, just understand. Yes, I'll quickly go through this one.
Oh, I need it.
The maximum, maximum magnitude of acceleration is when this thing is equals to. The max magnitude of A is when the sine part is 1 or negative 1. Does that make sense, Blake? When the sine part,
Yes.
right, is 1 or negative 1, right? So sine is 1 or negative 1. It's actually just the top and the bottom point.
Yeah.
Right, and then we know it's like 2 cycles, so it just be 4 answers. So just quickly the answer it would be pi over 6t equals to either the top point, which is pi on 2, or the bottom point, 3 pi on 2, and you add 2 pi to each of those. So which is plus 4 pi on 2, so that'll be 5 pi on 2 or 7 pi on 2. Alright, so these would be the answers. Sub it back, times it back into the other side. So t would be 3, 9, 15, and 21. Alright, and then to find the so max magnitude of acceleration will be 10 pi squared on 18, which is 5 pi squared on 9.
Wait, but how do you go from pi over 16 to the straight numbers? Are you doing...
Divide
pi.
both sides by pi, we'll cancel off all the pi on top.
Yeah.
And then 6 will times it to the top. So 6 over 2 is 3. So I'm timesing every coefficient by 3.
Why are you timesing it to the top? Is it
So
division?
I'll show you an example. It is division, yes.
So you're doing pi over 2 divided by pi over 6.
Yeah. So that will be
yeah,
times
yeah,
6
good.
over pi.
Yeah.
Yeah. So cancel. Always divide by 2. So that will be just times 3.
Okay.
So if it's like 3 pi, then it will just be 3 times 3, which is 9. And
Yeah.
15 and 21. So you got this one, and then sub into the x position. We sub these values in. So pi on 2, right? So then x, which would be 30 plus 20 sine. Now it will just be the same one, and if you sub pi on 2, its sine of that would be 1. And then when you sub 3 pi on 2, it will be negative 1, and 1 and negative 1. Which means x alternates between it's 30 plus 20 or 30 minus 20, so 10 and 50.
But don't you already know that because it's like periodic?
Yeah, it will oscillate, yeah. Because at the maximum of sort of sine of pi on 2. Oh yeah. It's 10 and 50, yeah. Wait, the max acceleration is, let me check sine, cosine. Yeah, that would be sine. Sine equals to 1 and negative 1. Sine is 1. Oh, yeah, it is. Should be the case. Yeah, 1050, yeah. Yeah, okay. Okay, now question F. I will go through question F, which is the let's see, the position when it is turning around. Okay, all right. So for question F, I'm starting question F now. Note that the position, right, would be given by this thing here, 30 plus 20 sine of pi t on 6. And then at t equals to 0, right, we've got sine 0 is 0, so x would be 30 centimeters. Meters. Okay, does it make sense?
Mm.
And remember, it's a sine function. So even if we will put it in terms of x and t in that way, so x and t, it will start from 30.
24 pi over 6. Right.
Sorry, what was that?
Then would you just do the same and put in 24 equals t?
Yes. 24 equals to t, and you get sine 4 pi, which is 0. So it'll be 30 again. So it starts from 30, ends at 30. And how much does it go up? It goes to 50. It drops to 10, right? Right, it goes up to 50 and it goes back down to 10. And how many times does it oscillate? We already calculated. It's 2 cycles. Right? So from 30, sine graph, so it goes up, down, and ends here.
Yeah.
Okay? So basically you can find out, because it's 2 cycles, and each cycle it goes from top to bottom twice. Right? Does it make sense? So one cycle will go up and then down and then past that and then up again. So that will be go from 10 to 50.
Wait, why is it going up, down, down?
So one
what's
cycle
the
is
origin?
like this,
Yeah.
right? So this is 50, this is 10, and there are 2 of those cycles times 2, right? So when you go up, it's from 30 to 50, that's 20.
So it's just 30 times.
Well, it will be 40 in total. The total distance per cycle is 40 meters. Or 80, was it?
Oh,
80
20,
meters, 80
yeah.
meters. Yeah, because 20 times 4 times.
Yeah.
Yeah, so every time it goes to the extreme from the center, it's 20 meters. Right, that's the amplitude. And so so when it goes up and down like that 4 times, that will be 80 meters times 2 is 160. That's it. So the travel graph is not as complicated. That's why the problem with trigonometry questions is that if you understand the periodic function, you can actually reason a lot of things out without using algebra. Like the one I mentioned earlier about the maximum speed is when the sine part is 1 and negative 1. Yeah, it's reasoning. That's not algebra. It's just reasoning. and you skip like a bunch of steps if you do that reasoning. Okay, so that's why that's the tricky part with sine and cos equations.
Lovely.
Let's see. Let me see if there's any other interesting question here. 3 times. Okay. I'll quickly go through part of question 8 as one of the harder ones. Alright guys, have a look. I got 4 more minutes. I'll just go through part of question 8.
Wait, I don't understand 3D why it occurs when x equals 30. I know it's the middle, but why is that when it occurs?
Oh, because when you sub the values in, so Blake, have a look. When you sub the t values in, you always get sine of, you always get the sine part equals to 0. And when you sub pi, it's also 0. Sin pi is 0. And so you see it will always be 30.
Is it not?
When you sub the t values in.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you just gotta go back and try and even try redoing this question to internalize it. But your question 8, find the first 3 times, right? First 3 times at which the particle's velocity equals to 0. So then you set that equals to 0, and then you find the first 3 times where that happens. So in question 8, it's like a strange exponential times trigonometry equation here. So let me show you guys. 0 equals to e to the power negative 2t sine of 3t. Right? For this thing to be equal to 0, how do we solve this? What would have to be 0 in order for this entire thing to be 0? No factor law.
That's my guess.
Sorry?
E.
E has to be 0 is wrong.
Because isn't it getting times
T.
by...
Sorry?
T.
Not just t. Because no factor law is there are 2 factors, right?
Sine of 3t would have to be
The
0.
sine of 3t must be 0. This one has no solution.
But what if E was...
You can't have 0 equals to e. Because remember, e to the power, let's say 2, right? Or 2e same thing, right? E to the power t would be the basic graph of this, right? If it's negative t, it will flip in the other direction like that. But it doesn't cross through the x-axis.
No, I thought we were doing something different. I thought we were saying how do you make that equal 0?
No, you can't. Because if you make it equal to 0, you have log of 0. You can't have log of 0.
Yeah, I just thought you simply...
So yeah, so you gotta solve this one equals to 0, and you only find the first 3 times, and t is more than 0, which means when sine equals to 0, it will be 0, pi, and 2 pi, right? So they're just saying...
Wait, slow down.
So t is more than 0, they ask you to find the first 3 times.
0, pi, 2 pi.
Right? Those are the first 3 times that sine of 3t will be equal to 0, and then you solve for t, which is 0, pi on 3, and 2 pi on 3. Okay, so that's for question A. And then acceleration at time t is just using the... Yeah, question C is graphics calculator. But question B, find the acceleration at time t. So we derive it. What rule?
What do you mean, what rules? You just derive it. Like
Yeah, what's
like the E funky thing.
Yeah, but okay. So see if we can derive it.
Equals negative 2t E negative 3 t. Right. Oh, I don't like that. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yuck.
It's the product rule because it's 2 functions of x multiplied to each other. That's why I asked what rule.
We don't do that when we did it with the other thing.
No, because the other one is only sine something and then plus this is times.
Isn't it negative 2t?
It's negative 2 because
it's the derivative
of the inner function. And then you derive sine will be 3 cos of 3t. So this is actually the derivative of velocity. It's the product rule. The other ones were not product rule. The difference was the other one was 30 plus.
How come you leave the original e negative 2t?
What do you mean?
E negative 2t over there.
This one is your u, right? U times v dash.
Okay.
Yeah, product rule. So yeah, the only tricky part that is probably new to you guys is the fact that when you like e to the power function of t is a function of t, you have to consider product rule and quotient rule in the harder questions. Okay, so be very careful. That's why when I asked what rule and Charlie, you were like, what rule? And I'm like, okay, probably will get it wrong, but you'd rather get it wrong here and than the exam, right? So that's why product rule and quotient rule, when you apply the new function, that's when it gets tricky.